Shalom, my friends. Tonight, we are going to perform a sacred act of spiritual accounting. We are going to take the tangled, messy, and debt-ridden ledger of your soul, and we are going to clear it. We will perform a specific 3-step ritual before you sleep that is designed to release the blockages that are strangling your financial life, creating a spiritual vacuum that the universe, by divine law, must rush to fill with unexpected abundance. This is not wishful thinking. This is a technology of the soul, hidden in plain sight within our ancient tradition. But first, a question, and I want you to dig deep into your heart for the answer. As you lie in bed tonight, who or what do you feel owes you something? Is it a person who wronged you? A former business partner who cheated you? An employer who undervalued you? A world that you feel has been unfair to you? What is the primary debt you are holding on to in your heart? Name that debt in the comments below. Acknowledging it is the first step to releasing it. Before we clear your spiritual ledger, I need you to join our mission. We are on a mission to reach 100,000 subscribers. We are building a global army of men and women who are learning to live not as victims of circumstance, but as masters of their spiritual reality. If you are ready to stop being a spiritual creditor and start being a divine channel, then do your part. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join this sacred family, this mishpacha. And listen, for those of you who are ready to master the entire system of spiritual finance, I have something extraordinary. I have opened enrollment for the Torah Millionaire Business School, but I must warn you, it is closing very soon. For just $299, I will unveil the full Torah wealth system, the 3,000-year-old blueprint for clearing all blockages and building a life of unstoppable divine flow. The link is in the comments below. If you feel the call, do not wait. When the door closes, it closes. Now listen to me. The reason your life is stuck, the reason money seems to avoid you, the reason opportunities pass you by can be summarized in one word: resentment. You are walking through life with your fists clenched. You are holding on to a mental and spiritual list of everyone who has ever wronged you. You replay the betrayals. You rehearse the injustices. You marinate in the feeling of what you are owed. And you believe this is a private, internal movie that you are watching in the theater of your own mind. You believe it has no effect on your external reality. The Torah teaches that this is a catastrophic error. Your resentment is not a private feeling. It is a spiritual force field. It is a giant, invisible wall that you have built around yourself, and on that wall, you have hung a giant sign that says, "No vacancy." You are telling the universe, I have no room to receive your blessings because my hands are full holding on to my grievances. I was the world champion of holding a grudge. In my early 30s, I had a business partner, a man who was like a brother to me. We built a company from nothing. I trusted him completely. And then I discovered he had been systematically stealing from me for over a year. It was not just the money he took, which was substantial. It was the betrayal. It shattered my world, and it consumed me. For a full year after our partnership dissolved, I was a walking ghost, animated by pure rage. Every night, before I slept, my final thoughts were of him. I would imagine all the ways I would get my revenge. I would calculate the money he owed me, down to the last penny. My prayers were not for blessing, they were for his ruin. And during that year, my own life fell apart. My other businesses struggled. My health failed. My relationships became strained. I was radiating a frequency of anger, of judgment, of "I am owed." And the universe responded by giving me more experiences to be angry about, more reasons to feel that I was being cheated by life. Here is the fundamental problem, the common enemy. You are trying to attract abundance while holding a consciousness of debt. You are asking God to write you a check while you are simultaneously holding a stack of unpaid invoices against your fellow man. This creates a spiritual contradiction, a blockage in the divine channel. You cannot be a channel for receiving while your primary posture is one of demanding. You cannot ask for grace while you are embodying judgment. You are standing before the throne of the King, asking for a royal gift, but you are refusing to open your hands to receive it because you are too busy pointing a finger at someone else. The hidden mechanism for this is a profound Kabbalistic principle concerning the flow of divine energy, the Shephar. The mystics teach that this flow operates according to two primary modes: Chesed, loving-kindness, expansion, giving, and Gevura, or Din, severity, restriction, judgment. When you are in a state of Chesed, when you are forgiving, giving, and releasing, you align yourself with the expansive nature of God, and the channel of Shephar opens wide. When you are in a state of Din, when you are holding on to judgments, resentments, and a sense of what you are owed, you align yourself with the restrictive nature of God, and the channel of Shephar narrows to a trickle or closes entirely. Your resentment is a spiritual act of invoking Din upon your own life. You think you are judging someone else, but you are actually inviting judgment upon yourself. You are, in the most literal sense, blocking your own blessing. This is the deepest meaning of the famous teaching from the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. In the way a man measures, so is he measured. If you measure others with the strict ruler of judgment, then heaven will measure you with that same strict ruler. If you measure others with the overflowing cup of mercy and release, then heaven will measure you with that same overflowing cup. You are the one who chooses the measuring instrument for your own life. This principle is powerfully and dramatically illustrated in the story of Jacob and Esau in the book of Genesis. After 20 years in exile, Jacob has to face the brother he cheated, the brother whose blessing he stole. He is terrified. He knows that Esau has a legitimate claim against him, a massive spiritual debt. He prepares for war. But his ultimate strategy is not one of confrontation, but of release. What does he do? He sends wave after wave of gifts ahead of him to Esau. Hundreds of goats, camels, cattle, and donkeys. This is not just a bribe. This is a spiritual act. Jacob is proactively settling the account. He is releasing the debt. He is saying, I am not going to hold on to this anymore. I am releasing my claim to this stolen blessing, and I am making restitution. He is shifting from a posture of holding to a posture of giving, from Din to Chesed. And what is the result? The confrontation he dreaded, the battle he feared, dissolves into an embrace. The Torah says that Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. The channel of judgment was closed, and the channel of brotherly love was opened. Why? Because Jacob performed the ritual of release. He cleared the ledger before the meeting ever took place. He understood that you cannot receive a new blessing until you have settled the old accounts. My own life was transformed by this very lesson. During that dark year, when I was consumed with anger at my former partner, I went to my mentor. I told him how my life was falling apart. I told him I was praying constantly, but God was silent. He listened, and then he said, "David, God is not silent. You are just deafened by the sound of your own anger. You are asking God for a gift with one hand while you are holding a weapon in the other. You must choose. Do you want justice or do you want blessing? You cannot have both at the same time." He told me to go home and perform a ritual. He called it clearing the heavenly ledger. He told me to do it that night before I slept. I was skeptical. My ego screamed for justice. But I was desperate, so I agreed. And what happened next changed the course of my life forever. Now I'm going to give you that exact 3-step ritual. This is the spiritual technology for clearing your financial and emotional blockages and opening the floodgates of unexpected blessing. The Heavenly Ledger Protocol, a 3-step ritual for nightly release. Step 1. The accounting, Cheshbon HaNefesh. Tonight, before you sleep, you will take out a piece of paper. This is your sacred ledger. On this paper, I want you to write down the name of the person or entity that you feel owes you something. Write down the debt. Be specific. Is it money? An apology? Recognition? Write it all down. Get it out of your soul and onto the paper. This is the act of acknowledging the blockage. You are identifying the red ink in your spiritual accounts. Step 2. The Divine Transfer. Now, you are going to perform a sacred act of transfer. You are going to transfer the debt. Look at the name and the debt you have written, and underneath it, you are going to write these powerful words. I hereby transfer this debt in its entirety to the accounts department of the Master of the Universe. It is no longer my burden to carry, or my responsibility to collect. It is now in His hands. You are not forgiving the person in the sense of condoning their action. You are releasing them as your debtor and appointing God as the new creditor. You are firing yourself from the job of being the universe's collection agency. Step 3. The Sacred Destruction and Declaration. This is the final and most crucial step. You will take the piece of paper and you will safely burn it. As you watch the smoke rise, you will say these words out loud. I have cleared the ledger. I have released the debt. My hands are now empty and open to receive. I am ready for my blessing. This physical act of destruction is a powerful signal to your subconscious mind and to the heavens. It is a declaration that you are finished with the old story of resentment and are now ready for a new story of abundance. You have created a vacuum, a space, a vessel. And by the laws of spiritual physics, that vacuum must be filled. When I performed this ritual for the first time, something shifted in me. The burning rage I had felt for a year simply dissolved. I felt a lightness I hadn't felt since before the betrayal. I went to sleep that night, and for the first time, I did not dream of my former partner. I slept a deep, peaceful sleep. The next morning, I woke up, and the world felt different. It felt brighter. And then, at 10 a.m., my phone rang. It was a banker I had a casual relationship with. He said, "David, I don't know why, but I was thinking about you this morning. A major investor from overseas just came into my office. He is looking for a new, hungry partner for a massive project. Your name just popped into my head. Are you available to meet him this afternoon?" My friends, that meeting led to a deal that was worth more than 10 times the amount my former partner had stolen from me. The universe did not just repay the debt, it repaid it with interest. Why? Because I had finally cleared the ledger. I had opened my hands. I had created the space for the blessing to land. This is the work. It is the nightly work of spiritual hygiene. It is the work of choosing blessing over bitterness, of choosing freedom over the prison of your own resentment. I am not giving you a challenge today. I am giving you a nightly key to unlock the flow of abundance that is your divine birthright. Here are 3 immediate actions to use this key tonight. 1. Prepare your sacred ledger. Have a pen and paper ready by your bedside. 2. Before you sleep, perform the 3 steps of the heavenly ledger. Protocol. Do not skip a step. The physical acts of writing and burning are essential. 3. When you lie down to sleep, let your final thought be the feeling of empty hands and an open heart, ready to receive. Remember the principle. God cannot fill a hand that is clenched into a fist. Your resentment is that fist. Tonight you have a choice. You can go to sleep once again rehearsing your grievances, holding on to your claims, and keeping the channel of blessing firmly shut. Or you can perform this sacred act of release. You can clear the ledger. You can open your hands. And you can create the space for unexpected money, unexpected opportunities, and unexpected peace to rush into your life by morning. As King David, a man who knew much about betrayal and forgiveness, wrote in the Psalms, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." God wants to prepare a feast of blessings for you, but you must be willing to let go of your enemies and sit down at the table. Shalom, and may you be blessed with the courage to release all debts, the wisdom to clear your spiritual ledger, and the profound joy of waking up in a world that is rushing to fill your open hands. Amen.